reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah. The vision of Isaiah, son of Amos, concerning Judah and Jerusalem. In the last days, the mountain of the Lord's house shall be set over the highest mountains and shall tower over the hills. All the nations shall stream to it, saying, Come, let us go to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, and we may walk in his paths. For the teaching comes from Zion, and from Jerusalem the word of the Lord. He will rule over the nations and settle disputes for many people. They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not raise sword against nation. They will train for war no more. O nation of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of the Lord. Responsorial Psalm. Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord.
Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord.
I rejoiced when they said to me, Let us go to the house of the Lord. And now our feet are standing within your gates, Jerusalem.
Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord.
Jerusalem, built as a city, walled round about. There the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, as it was decreed for Israel, to give thanks to the name of the Lord.
Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord.
There the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, as it was decreed for Israel, to give thanks to the name of the Lord. There are the thrones of justice, the thrones of the house of David.
Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord.
For the peace of Jerusalem pray. May those who love you prosper. May peace be within your ramparts, prosperity within your towers.
Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord.
For the sake of my brothers and friends, I say, peace be with you. For the sake of the house of the Lord our God, I pray for your good.
Let us go rejoicing to the house of the Lord.
A reading from the letter of Paul to the Romans. You know what hour it is? This is the time to awake, for our salvation is now nearer than when we first believed. The night is almost over, and day is at hand. Let us discard, therefore, everything that belongs to darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. As we live in the full light of day, let us behave with decency. No banquets with drunkenness, no promiscuity or licentiousness, no fighting or jealousy. Put on, rather, the Lord Jesus Christ, and do not be led by the will of the flesh, nor follow its desires. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. At the coming of the Son of Man, it will be just as it was in the time of Noah. In those days before the flood, people were eating and drinking and marrying until that day when Noah went into the ark. Yet they did not know what would happen until the flood came and swept them away. So will it be at the coming of the Son of Man. Of two men in the field, one will be taken and the other left. Of two women grinding wheat together at the mill, one will be taken and the other left. Stay awake then, for you do not know on what day your Lord will come. Obviously, if the owner of the house knew at what time the thief was coming, he would certainly stay up and not allow his house to be broken into. So be alert, for the Son of Man will come at the hour you least expect.
Reflection for the first Sunday of Advent. Vigilance is an action of staying awake, remaining attentive, or ever watchful for the inevitable, or at the very least, for whatever is most probable. It is closely related to the idiomatic expression, keeping vigil, which often refers to staying quietly in place, in waiting, for an unhurried period of time, though it may also be associated with being in a state of heightened alert, which connotes guarding one's post, firmly securing it for what would seem to be an eternity of silently ticking minutes, of passing dreadful hours. In any case, vigilance may be likened to a game with the suspenseful teasing of a mysterious end. It is a desired state in positive, or in negative anticipation of possibilities whose uncertainty is significantly limited only to the question, when. Hence, vigilance may be rendered less purposeful if such possibilities are complicated by the questions, what, and how. It is rendered completely meaningless if such possibilities are placed in serious doubt by the question, why. In other words, we are willing to wait because we can fully comprehend what is going to happen, how it will happen, and most importantly, why it must happen. It simply becomes a matter of when it will happen. So, for the followers of the Christ and sincere servants of his kingdom of justice and peace, an explanation of the end is no longer necessary. An uncompromising faith in its true consolations fuels the conviction to wait for the crucial moment of salvation, when he will rule over the nations and settle disputes for many people, when nation will not raise sword against nation, when people will train for war no more. It is with much trust and surrender, therefore, that we courageously climb the mountain of God, that he may teach us his ways and we may walk in his paths, discarding everything that belongs to darkness and putting on the armor of light, our beloved Master. But for those who cannot and will not understand him, for those led astray by the will of the flesh and its desires, the end does not and will never make any sense. They haughtily ask, why must one be taken and the other left? Is it not in our power to save or destroy both? Gleefully sneering and jeering, what is this coming you speak about? How will it take place? Is it a coming from above or below, from within or without? If we are truly loved, why must it be kept hidden? With the lack of any rational answer, they proudly dismiss the waiting for an unexpected day or hour. We can choose and decide our end. The proper waiting in this holy season becomes relevant only through the comprehensibility of its culmination. If the vigilance called for in Advent is thus rejected as the killjoy while we move towards Christmas, then it is because we are defiantly looking forward to an unholy joy that kills,